Welcome back to another SwiftUI tutorial. Today we'll be building out TodoGPT, a to-do list that is powered completely by ChatGPT. So just a quick demo of how this app works. It's just like any other to-do list, but the medium of controlling it is through text. So first we can have it add reading before bed to my to-do list. And it'll add a new to-do right here. If we click on it, it takes us to the to-dos page, and we can see our to-do populated right here. We can add something more complicated. We can say, help me plan for my study session for my AP calculus exam. And it'll give us some suggestions, like so, and then also added something right here, gather textbooks, notes, and practice exams for the study. We can also say, give me some specific subjects, topics to study for my AP calculus exam, and add them to my to-do list. Great, so it gave us some suggestions and also added some stuff to our to-do list. We can see all the stuff that it added here. And if there's something that we don't want, say maybe the limits, I'm good on my limits, so I'll just delete this and it'll be persisted. So we're using the Firestore database in order to persist all of our data so that if you leave the app, your to-dos are still going to be saved. All right, so let's get started. I want you to first go to the SwiftUI Firebase auth repo. This is a tutorial that we went over in the last video. I'll also link it in the description, but I really recommend you to watch this if you haven't already, but we're going to be building our app on top of this. So first I want you to copy this link, and we're going to go to our terminal, and we're going to say, go to wherever you want your project to be saved. I'm in the documents folder, so we can just git clone, and then whichever, and then copy and paste that URL. After that, we do open and then dot, and this opens up our Finder, and we can go in and look at our files. So the GitHub doesn't have the Google service info.plist file. So if you don't know how to get that, make sure you watch the previous video with the auth where I went over how to create a new project with Firebase. So we're just going to copy and paste this into this folder right here. This is the new one that we just generated, and exit out this one and go back and open this up in Xcode. All right, so it's going to take some time to download all the packages and index the files, so I'll be back when it's finished. So the project finished indexing and downloading all the package dependencies. So I just ran it and made sure everything still worked. I can create an account. I already have an account. And then sign in and we're successful. Great. So now let's get started, and inside the folders, I want to create some new folders for a few more things we're going to do in the future. So first off, I want to create a new folder in views called chat. So this is going to house some of our chat features, or like the UI that's pertains to the chat features. And we're going to go to the SwiftUI auth folder here, and then we're going to add a new group called view models. View model. Okay, and inside of chat, we're going to, inside of views, we're going to create a new file called home view. It's going to be a SwiftUI view right here, and home view, like that. And inside of here, we're just going to build some stuff out first. Actually, I want to go to the content view, and instead of this else block right here, we're going to delete everything and paste or write home view and then just stick it in there. So this basically just means when you're logged in, we're going to go to the home view, and then if you're not logged in, we're going to go to the auth view. So let's check the home view out right now, and let's see. Let's start out with the VStack, because we're going to build out that chat to do thing at the top of the title. So we need another H tag right here, a text, and then I'm just going to call it chat. Font is going to be large title, and we also want it to be bold. I want a spacer here, so we push it on the left side, and we're going to do an on tab gesture. And inside of here, we're going to want to have a state variable, and we're going to call it is chat open. It's going to be of type Boolean, and it'll be true by default. So that means we're going to start off the app being on the chat page, but if you click we're going to do an animation, and we're going to say is chat open dot toggle. So this flips it around when we click on the top part and switches to do's. So I'm just going to run the preview, see if that'll compile. And while we're waiting for that, let's see. Let's just do a spacer in here so it pushes everything to the top. Okay, and then we're going to do a okay, looks like the preview's not gonna load. Okay, it's fine. So we're just gonna come here, and for now we're going to comment out these two. And that means our content view is just gonna show our home view, and we'll just have it run on the real simulator. That works too. So while it's running, let me tell you how we're going to achieve the dark mode in the back and light mode when we switch between to-dos and chat. So what we're gonna do is .environment. And then here we're going to do /.color scheme. And then here is chat open. So if it's open, then we're going to have it be on light mode. And if it's not, we're going to be on dark mode. But we also need to change the background color, because the color scheme doesn't entirely change everything. So I'm going to go here and do color. And then inside of here, we're going to do another ternary operator. So is chat open. Okay, it started running. Nice. Okay, let's just finish this off. Chat open dot white. And otherwise, we're going to do dot black. And we also want edges ignoring safe area, so we can have the background span the entirety of the page. So just make sure that it does what we want. So we click it, and it turns dark. Nice. And it also animates, so that looks really good. We also want to come in content view here, and let's just give it some padding. And let's run it again. Okay, nice. Oh, okay, that was not right. Let's just put the padding over on the home view right here then. Just put it on here. That. Okay, nice, that's what I want. Okay, so I want this to swap to say to-dos when I have the dark mode open. So is chat open? If it's open, then we give chat. Otherwise, we give to-dos. Okay, nice, it's working. Okay, so now let's build out the chat view stuff. So we're going inside of here. Let's create a new SwiftUI view over in this folder, the chat folder. Let's call it chat view. So inside of this chat view, we're gonna have a few state variables that I'm gonna open up first. So actually for now, let's just start with one. Typing message. So this is gonna be whatever the user types inside of the box. And we're gonna go and create another VStack like that. And then we're gonna have a spacer. And right now we're not gonna populate, whoops, I forgot. Yeah. We're not gonna populate our messages quite yet. We're gonna build out that bottom, what's it called? Text field that you saw, that the user types in. So we're gonna add a text field right here, and we're gonna say, type your message here. And we'll do a text, and then we'll bind this to the typing message. So whenever the user types something in the text field, it's going to update this typing message. I'm gonna close this canvas for now so we have a little more room to see. I'm gonna make this a little bigger. Okay, and here we're gonna do text view style, or text field style, sorry. And then we're gonna use the built-in one, rounded border, text field style, like that. And just give it some styling, and then frame, we'll just do a min height of CG float 30. And then next to it, we have to have our send button. Right now, can we leave this actions blank? And let's just do text of send. And this frame needs to be min height of 50. And we also give it a little bit of padding just to, I want to make this capital. So when it's running, let's just make sure that everything, oh, we forgot to put it in our home view. So let's go over it and add that in. Okay, so let's see. We're gonna just add the chat view inside. We're gonna put it, let's put it right here. Chat view. So that should push it all the way down. Okay, nice. Okay, great. So this is all working. Now let's start writing out the message view. Or actually, let's start with the content message. So it's gonna be, we're gonna have two wrappers inside of this. So we're gonna have two. We need two more views. So first, we're gonna say content. What should we call it? Content message view. Yeah, content message view. And inside of here, we have a few variables that we need to construct it with. Var message content, and it's gonna be a type string, and we can say is current user is current user, and this is gonna be Boolean. So if it's gonna be either true if it's you talking and false if ChatGPT is responding. So let's say text content message, message content, sorry, dot padding 10 dot foreground color is current user color dot white, otherwise we give color dot black, and then background is current user, then we do color dot blue, else we do this color, so UI color, and then UI color, and then we're gonna initiate it with the red, green RGB values. So it's gonna be 240, 255, 240, 255, 240, 255. That should give us a nice alpha 1.0. That should give us a nice gray color, light gray color that we can see. So I'm gonna start off our message with just hello world, and let's try the current user as true. So now let's go back to our we need to make another file called the SwiftUI, another SwiftUI view called message view. So this is gonna be our actual message, because it's gonna if it's the user generated message, it's gonna be on the right side, while if it's the ChatGPT generated one, it's gonna align to the left side like we saw. And it's also gonna have a little icon for the ChatGPT. So we need to build out that view. So inside of here, we just have an H stack. Let's have a spacing of 15, and let message be of type. We have to make this model. So let's just go ahead and make this model real quick. Okay, so we have to make another folder called models. So inside of this model, we're gonna call it message models. So let's go ahead and think about what we need for our models. Okay, so we're going to do a struct of message data. And for now, we're going to make this hashable because later we do want to loop over it with the for each loop. And inside, we're going to have a content string. This is just whatever the message is. And then we're going to have a user. And this is going to be of type user type. I'm going to make this user right now. So it's going to be an enum of the user type is going to be an enum. And we're going to have two cases, the user or if it's the system. There we go. So now let's go back to chat view. Or sorry, we were in message view, and this is going to be message data. Okay. So let's just add the message parameter here, and then we can create a new message object. Content is going to be hello world. User is going to be, let's just say for user now. Nice. Okay. So content message view, and we're just going to give it message.content and current user. If the message.user is equal to .system, we return false, otherwise true. Yeah, okay, so this is only going to work on one side. So what we're going to do is we're going to say message.user is equal to .system here. This is going to be if it's going to be a system user. And let's see, we need to have an image of system name. I think it's person. And then inside the frame, we're just going to add some width and height 40. So it's going to be a square and then a line to the center. We need a corner radius of 20. And we also need a spacer here because it means that if our message is not created by the system or ChatGPT, we want to have a spacer here which will push this message on the right side. Otherwise, we're going to have it stick on the left side because we can see right here, we're going to do if message.user is equal to .system. That means we do want a spacer on the right side, so it pushes everything to the left side. So let's see if we can, yeah, let's go ahead and put it in our chat view. And let's see. For now, I'm just going to make a private let messages, dummy messages. And it's going to be of type message data. Yeah, okay. Okay, so inside of here, let's just make some basic data content. It's going to be hello world, and this is going to be that system. Here, I'm going to we can do I'm doing great, so it's going to be user, this one's going to be that's great to hear, you help me with my to-do list, this is going to be user. And so now we have this data. Let's just go over here and then do a for each underneath this spacer. So first we do a scroll view, so we can scroll to them, and then we do a for each. Let's say dummy messages. Okay. And we need an ID. We're going to use self. And then inside of here, we're going to have message in, and then we have access to each of these messages. And now we can just do message view and then pass the message over like so. Now let's run it and let's see if it can, we can display some messages. Okay, nice. Okay, we forgot to round it and we have some issues with padding, so let's go ahead and fix that. But we do have our chat messages showing up. Okay. We forgot the corner radius. Whoops. Corner radius of 10. And let's go ahead and run it again. All right, that looks much better. Okay, so what I'm thinking is we have some padding issues on this side. So let me look at the message view and let's see if we can fix this real quick. we're gonna just add some padding like so. See if that'll work. Okay, yeah, that looks pretty good. I think there's a bit too much spacing between these two, so I'm gonna go over to our message view and I'm gonna decrease the spacing to, let's say 8 for now. Let's just look and see. So a lot of SwiftUI is just experimenting with different padding spacings just to find what looks better. I think that looks pretty good. All right, so now let's build out the to-dos, because right now it still shows the entire UI is still the same when we switch between chat and the to-dos page. So let's go ahead and change that. Let's see, chat view. No, sorry, we're going to the home view, and inside of here we'll just say if is chat open, then we do this. Otherwise we we'll return a list. So this is like a table, and we need to make some or actually we don't need a model for this, because our to-do list is just an array of strings. So we're gonna say let dummy to do data is equal to, it's gonna be a type string array, and we're gonna give it some things like eat lunch, read before bed. Oh, I did period instead of comma by accident. Study for finals. And then just in here, we're going to do another for each. And it's going to be to do data. Same thing, we're going to do an ID \self. And to do in. And we're just going to do simple text to do. Nice. So now we have this. And one more thing, we need to do the delete feature. So we just do on delete. And then we're gonna do, I'm gonna press enter right here, and that opens up the closure. We get index to do. And then we'll just say dummy to do data dot remove at offset right here. And then index to do. So that should, okay. This should be a variable instead of a let, because we can't mutate constants. All right, I made a small mistake right here. We actually have to append this variable with @state to be able to mutate it. And let's go ahead and run it again. And going to the to-do page, we should be able to delete now. Finally, we have to create the typing indicator that the GPT messaging service will display to the user while it's loading. So let's go ahead and add another SwiftUI view file into the chat folder, and we'll call it typing indicator. And in here, we're going to first create a state variable, number of animating balls, and we're gonna set it at 3. You can change this if you want to have more, but I'm just gonna go with this. So alignment, we're gonna say dot first text baseline, and let's have a for each in here, and we're going to have a few capsules. So we're gonna have 3 of them, and the first, each of them we're gonna have foreground color of self.number of animating balls. If it's equal to this one, then we're gonna change the color to blue. And otherwise, we're just gonna keep it at UI color, dark gray. Now for the frame, we need some constants over here. So let ball size, I'm gonna do CG float 5, and we're going to set the width to the ball size. Now for the height, it needs to be self.number of animating balls. And if it's equal to I, if this one's the one animating, then we're going to say self.ball size divided by 3. So we're going to make it a little smaller. Else we're going to do self.ball size. So that's how we're going to animate them. And we're just going to write a little animation right here. .spring, and you can test these values out, but I'm going to go with these. And the blend duration, 1, and then the speed, 2. And now on up here, we're going to create a timer that's going to animate these balls. So, timer.scheduled timer. And the one we want is with time interval. And we're going to make another constant. It's going to be speed. It's going to be a double. I'm going to set this to 0.5. And the time interval will just be speed, self.speed. Repeats, we set that to true. And for block, I'm going to press enter to create another closure. And then I'm not going to need a timer, so we're just going to do an underscore right there. And random number of type integer. We're going to repeat the random number. int.random, basically we're just going to get it from between 0 and 2. And while random number is self.number of animating ball, I'm going to do self.number of animating ball is equal to random number. So we're going to just change the ball that's animating. Now we're going to go back to the content message view. And right here, we're going to check if the content message is equal to loading, like that. So this is what we're going to use to check if the ChatGPT API is still being run. We're going to finish that in the next tutorial, in the next part. So I'm going to add a padding of 10, foreground color. Actually, I'm going to set all of these to the same, so it looks the same as before, as the message content, so it blends in. So then we won't be using the ones that we just created in the typing indicator. By the way, to format, I'm doing Command A and then Control I. And okay, sorry, I messed this up. It's message content. And here we're just gonna go to our home view, and I want to add for the chat view. And for the last to do, it's going to be, we're gonna set it as loading, the message as loading system. And then when we run this, we should see our loading indicator. There we go. We have it right here, and I think it looks pretty nice. And it's moving around randomly, and I think it's a little different from how other people implement it. All right, so this is the first part, just building out sort of the basic UI of TodoGPT. Please stay tuned for part 2 and part 3, where we'll be going over how to link it with the ChatGPT API and having it control our app, ChatGPT. And we're also going to be linking it to Firestore database in order to persist our to-dos and make this a fully fledged to-do list app. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe and comment.